Do you live ECU?
R.
Do you bleed purple and gold? Are you ready to hoist the colors?
Hoist the colors!
It's time for the most in-depth look into the world of ECU athletics. Welcome to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game. Watch the show live on Facebook and at 943thegame.com. Here's Stephen Igo.
Welcome in. It is Hoist the Colors. It is a game day edition. East Carolina hosting Tulsa inside to Daddy Fickle Stadium tonight, 7:30. Tulane was last week, Tulsa this week. 3 consecutive Thursday night games for the Pirates, the 4th overall and the 4th consecutive primetime linear network game dating back to the BYU game, which was on a Saturday, but also that was an ESPN2 national broadcast. So 4 consecutive linear telecasts, 3 consecutive Thursday night games. Pirates big favorites over Tulsa. We have our normal Hoist the Colors show right now live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. If you got a question, a comment, a concern, or if you just want to do the purple gold chant like Lane Smith and Corsair are doing right now in the chat, drop that and we will either read it or get to it over the course of the next hour. We're going to visit with Maceo Donald, ECU's sideline reporter, get his take on the game tonight inside Daddy Ficklin, Night of the Boneyard. And we also will visit with Bobby Harvard around 12:30 and get our game picks for not only ECU Tulsa, but also just a monster week in college football. I had trouble narrowing it down to 6. Philip Pilkington, he is behind the glass for this show inside the 94.3 The Game studios. Philip and I will be hosting the pregame show from 4 to 6:30. Philip, are you ready for another long day of Pirate football?
I am. I'm excited. I had a long day yesterday, so I'm glad today's more of a long day with Pirate football, M's baseball. I get to watch a little late-night Bruins hockey. Our friends who are Canes fans get to watch a little late-night Canes hockey all after the Pirates game's over. That'll probably be the end of the first period in those respective games. And I will say, you did a great job coming up with these games. However, you did a bad job narrowing it to 6 because I think you put 7 games on there, if I counted correctly.
That is correct because I had 6, and then I wanted to pick Georgia Tech Duke. And so I made it 7. So I did have trouble, and then I was like, you know what, we got to pick 7. So good observation there. I can't count as well. Math was never my strong suit. So look, we've broken down this ECU Tulsa game from a lot of angles, and we'll make our official picks later. And we'll also discuss on the pregame show. So we got plenty of time to discuss that. If you guys have any questions, drop it. We'll also get Maceo's take here in a minute. And but something we haven't talked about is just like the crowd tonight. I'm kind of going back and forth. I'm not expecting a huge crowd. I never do on a Thursday night. It is Night of the Boneyard. I saw Blake Carroll is out on campus today giving away some T-shirts, encouraging students to come to the game. So another thumbs up for me on Blake, just understanding the culture, how important it is to get the students involved, get them in the stadium. It's up to them to stay, by the way. But either way, I'm expecting a good student turnout, at least for the first half. The only thing that gives me hope for some Pirate fans making the trip out of town is it's been a couple of weeks since ECU, 3 weeks since ECU played at home, and it'll be, 3 more weeks? 2.5 more weeks before ECU plays at home? So
no, it'll be three. Full 3 because we had a bye, then we get an away game.
Temple, yep. So, this is your only chance to watch ECU at home in October. So if you're on the fence, I think that you're going to have some fans coming. So I'm expecting a decent crowd. I don't know, what are fair expectations for you, Philip?
I'm not going to sit here and get too into the numbers, honestly. I think where we got to look at tonight is the energy on the ones who do show up. Let's just be honest. This will be the best weather tailgating you're going to have. It's going to be cold after this. Dude, it is high 60s and sunny. So I think when the students get out of class, it won't be too hot. It won't be too cold. It'll be perfect to tailgate. You're probably going to need a lightweight jacket during the game. But I think the energy will be there. Usually the night at the Boneyard, the energy is there. It's also the game, it seems like they do the best job of staying if it's going well. And if the Pirates get off to a hot start, I have high expectations today. Like I said, I think it's only going to be half full, but I think the energy is going to be high. It better be high.
No reason for it not to be high, especially for the students. Obviously, if you're working all day and show up, I can understand a little bit of a drag. But once the game gets going, man, let loose. Kenny Curlin's in the chat. He says 41-17 Pirates and that he will be tailgating by 4. Lane Smith is calling for 30. 1,000 fans, which I think it'll be around that 30, low 30s number as far as announced attendance. Ryan says he's interested to see how the team comes out. He also says black with exclamation points. So, yeah, it is a blackout. Wear your black. And Sir Cookie Pants is in the chat and says Tulsa will test our DBs. Book is out after the Tulane game. Hard to believe no one tested them until now. Well, they got to be able to protect. Tulsa's O-line, not the best. So, ECU should be able to get home with some pass rush to help negate that. All right, last thing before we get our break in, because we got to get to Maceo here shortly. Weather, you mentioned it, 65 degrees right now. It'll be around 55 at kickoff. I might have to break out the jeans, Phillip. You too, man. We're both in shorts. Like, I'm a shorts guy. I stay in shorts as long as possible. I did have to break out my jeans when I went to Denver. But this may be a jeans game. How you feeling?
Look, we're going to be in the press box by 6:30. And to be honest, I don't think with some of the plans and stuff I have going on, I don't have time to go home between now and then. So
you're going
I made my
shorts.
bed. I'm just going to have to lay in it. Yeah.
You got short sleeves too. Are you on jacket or are you just rolling with that all night?
I didn't bring one of those either. I mean, once I'm up in the press box, so it's room temperature. The heck does it matter at that point?
I mean, that's fair. I'm just saying it might get a little chilly, although the wind looks like we'll have some 13-mile-per-hour winds at the pregame show by Town Make Tower.
Yeah, I need to make sure. So. I need to go. I'm glad you said that. During our next break, I'm going to go find the little sandbags, make sure we can keep our tent on the ground.
Lane Smith says jeans and boots game for sure.
Lane wears jeans and boots when it's 85 degrees.
Let us know in the chat. Is anybody going shorts if you're sitting outside? Should I stay in shorts or should I change the jeans? Look, these are the things I like discussing, man. Real life problems. Enough about the football. But I'm a shorts guy, and so I have to wear jeans. So we'll see. Let us know what you're wearing tonight to the game, along with your black, of course. All right, let's go ahead and get a break in so we can get to Maceo. That way we have plenty of time for our picks on the back half when Bobby joins us. We will be right back on a game day edition of Hoist the Colors.
The team of Flatlands Jessup is working overtime to help ensure that Eastern North Carolinians like you get the health insurance help you need this open enrollment period. New legislation passed meaning more people than ever qualify for affordable coverage. Let us help you today.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
Tired of the 1-800 numbers advertising Medicare products? Flatlands Jessup has 6 offices all throughout Eastern North Carolina. Get face-to-face help from our local award-winning licensed team. Stop by today. Flatlands Jessup, your whole world covered.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best.
Go Pirates! Arrgh!
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Allen, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need. Come get you one.
ECU Athletics.
Welcome back into Hoist the Colors on a game day edition. ECU Tulsa happening tonight, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, inside Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium. We're joined now by Maceo Donald, who will be on the sideline for Pirates and Golden Hurricane. Yet another Thursday night contest, Maceo, and we'll start first with the last Thursday night game, a loss to Tulane. I think we all felt good about ECU's chances going in. Obviously, the first half didn't go according to plan, but in the end, ECU had a shot to win it, came up short. Just what did you make of that football game?
Yeah, I think it was just kind of the same thing we've been talking about all year, just slow starts like we've had against BYU and NC State. And, more similar to the NC State game, we were able to fight ourselves back into the game and stick with it, basically behind our defense, making play after play after play. But just wish we started off early, man. I think early in that game, it took us a while to handle their defensive line and just those linebackers coming to get Kate. And it seems like he was fighting for his life early in the game. But wish we would have closed the deal late in the game. But there's just these slow starts. We got to fix that.
No doubt. And look, ECU 3-3 after 6 games, and I think Maceo, looking back at the preseason, a lot of people, not that they would have just asked for 3-3, but they would have accepted it given the schedule. It's just been weird because I think we all thought the offense would carry the team, and instead the defense has carried the team. So it almost feels like a letdown with the offense. I mean, do you kind of feel the same way?
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that. Even my mom has kind of been saying that. She was like, when you expect the offense to be good, the defense is kind of the one stepping up, and it's vice versa. Some of those early Donnie Kirkpatrick years, we were scoring 50 and still losing to teams like SMU or Cincinnati. So it is kind of weird. It's still football, so things can still change. And like you said, we're dead right in the middle of the season, so a lot of games still have to play. But, I just figured with the experienced quarterback and explosive styled offense, just how JDB wants to run it, you would think we'd have more success on offense. But it just seems like it takes us a little while to maybe get adjusted in some games. So maybe you could attribute that to JDB just still being a young play caller and still getting used to that. But I would still love to see some more improvements from Kate in the offense just as the season goes on, because we still got a chance in the conference.
Visiting with Maceo Donald, ECU football sideline reporter. And we've talked a lot about the running back situation this week, Maceo. I think all of them have some ability, and we saw TJ Engelman really get into the mix at Tulane. So we'll just start there. What did you think of TJ as a redshirt freshman really getting his first shot and looking pretty good?
I mean, I thought he looked good. I think it's always different when you don't have much film on a guy or any at all, and just you don't really know what to expect from him. But they look good. I think that's one thing that's kind of special about our running back room is that all of them kind of do different things, and sometimes you don't really know who to put in at a given time for a given game. But I think we still have a lot of weapons, and he did look pretty good. We probably see him get a lot more carries tonight.
Yeah, that was one thing I was going to ask too. It seems like from game to game, somebody asked us on Wednesday. It was like, who's going to start at running back? And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know if the coaches know at this point. And like you said, they all have strengths. They all have certain situations. Like we saw Parker Jenkins on the last drive of the game, which would seem to indicate he's the best receiving, blocking back when they had to throw the ball. But I don't know. I kind of would like to see one or two guys establish themselves as the clear-cut guys, but I'm starting to wonder if that's going to happen. Like if you were let's say Maceo Donald, running back coach, who would you try and kind of give the most carries to right now?
I've always liked London. Since you kind of saw those flashes from him last season, obviously I don't think he's the best pass catcher, so that might hurt him, especially with a team that's, our offensive line isn't just, like we're Michigan or someone where we can just run down the middle all game long. You kind of want to get him in more some space, even though he still isn't afraid to lower his pads. So I think he would be my number one pick, but if he could catch more, so Jenkins might be the guy for us if we can just have a little bit more versatility. But all these guys are some flashes. Even like Marlon Gunn, I've kind of been wondering why we've taken so long to put him in the game. in some of these games. He's not the most explosive or 50 or even just the best vision on the team, but he's been running really hard this year, and you can tell he's kind of had that mentality of, hey, I've been here for a few years. I'm an older guy. These new guys basically can't come in and take all my reps. So you've seen it kind of every time he's had the ball, he's been able to make some plays. But it seems like sometimes we wait until the second quarter or second half to really get him some touches and going. I don't know if it's strategic when the defense is worn down some, but that's what I've seen a lot with Marlon Gunn. But if you're just talking about overall just skill set, Jenkins probably is the guy, even though London can probably be that more explosive back.
Visible Maceo, Donald Maceo, former ECU receiver, running back, special teams, demon. And I want to get your take on a couple things from a player perspective. I had to throw that in there. All right, so I was watching the game, Tulane, ECU. I know you didn't play in this specific offense with JDB, but you were in, some RPO-based stuff under Donnie Kirkpatrick. And, there were two plays with Anthony Smith and Caton Hauser where it was an RPO, and obviously it's some sort of option route, and they are reading either the conflict defender or the safety to try to decide where to run the route. And him and Caton were just not on the same page, and if they were, both of those would have been explosive plays because I think Caton made the right read to pull the ball and throw it, but then they were not on the same page from the route. So, just how much detail goes into that? I don't know how much y'all did of that exactly in DK's offense, but even two experienced guys not on the same page, what does that mean they need to work on when they go back to the film room?
Yeah, it's a lot of it's just eyes and getting reps at it because we did do that quite a bit still at ECU, not as much as they do now with JDB, but honestly, it's a lot of eyes and just being on the same page. And it might seem simple just saying it, but sometimes, a receiver can get a little bit confused by what he sees or the quarterback. I kind of look back at some of the stuff we used to run with Tyler Steed or CJ Johnson in the slot where there would be a read between a hitch and an out on an RPO. Sometimes you look over there and see the corner, moving back, but he's still kind of sitting in that flat. And, guys will get popped and you can really get hurt with that. So it's a lot of communication, and I remember us just repping that all the time. So it's just reps, really. And sometimes you kind of just trust your receivers hey, if I kind of throw this in direction, he'll catch it. So I think, especially with Anthony Smith, I think he has a lot of trust in him. Obviously, Anthony hasn't caught the ball as best as you would like him to, but it's just reps. And I think they'll see it in the film room and try to take advantage of that as much as possible. But it's just reps after reps after reps. That's the only thing you can really say.
And then I wanted to ask, too, about scripted drives to start games. Tulsa, we were looking at the numbers. They've been really good. 3 out of the last 4 games, they've scored on the opening drive, a touchdown. And we've seen ECU obviously go down the field at times on that scripted drive and look really good. Other times they can't even get a yard. So, just how comfortable, especially if you have a good offensive mind, that scripted drive, how much do you guys work it during the week? How confident is it going in? And then what changes after that point from from an offensive expectation standpoint?
So usually the scripts, they kind of settle that down by Thursday. You're usually working in some things that maybe the offensive coordinator likes so that the quarterback feels comfortable through the beginning of the week. Obviously, this is an early week, so the days are moved up. But on a typical week, Monday, you'll talk about some stuff, and then off days. Then Tuesday, you're trying to run the things that you like. You trim it down on Wednesday. And probably by the end of third practice on Thursday, you kind of know what's going to be on the script. And then Friday, you're just ramming it in. And then, the day before the game or the morning of the game, you're still walking through that stuff. So you basically know what's going to happen. Everybody pretty much knows the plays that are going to happen 2 days out from the game. But, however, like you said, we've had some games where we start out slow, and I've said it over and over this season that sometimes it feels like JDB. I just think about that state game. We kept trying to run the ball, and it obviously wasn't working, and we should have just adjusted. And when we started doing some of that and letting Katie kind of play, we were starting to make some plays. But it's kind of still hard to read. I haven't really understood completely yet JDB, and I think everyone's still learning that. And just this new offense that we look super explosive sometimes, but sometimes we just look the exact opposite. So the script is a big part of it. You want to do something that the guys feel comfortable with, but at the same time, you got to be ready to adjust at any moment. And once you get off that script, you got to it still has to look like you were on the script the whole time.
Original Maceo Donald getting some insight here, some X's and O's, ECU sideline reporter. something else that stands out to me about Tulsa is, look, they give us some plays defensively, but they have some premium players at corner and edge. They have a corner who's 6'2", 195, Elijah Green. He already has 5 picks in 6 games. And then an edge rusher, Jaden Burnett, 6 foot 250 with 6 sacks in 6 games. So, like, you know, when you're going into a game and you know 2 guys that can really change a game, like on the edge and at corner, do you have to game plan for them? How do you approach that as an offense?
Sure. Absolutely, you have to game plan for them. You know, from front to back end. We won't be able to get to that all-star corner and get the ball to our Anthony Smith and Yannick Smith if we can't block the edge rusher. So that, you'll see a lot of chips this week, maybe a lot of, 12 personnel or just having 7 men blocking, or maybe a tight end and a running back trying to chip before they get out to route. So it'll start up front, just slowing that down like anything for us. We've never had just a super great O-line, so you want to be able to protect the quarterback and run when you need to. So that'll be the first thing. But I still have full confidence that our players on the outside, Anthony Smith, a speed guy, and Yannick can pretty much do anything. So if we get our line to settle in and just be able to protect Kate long enough to throw the ball, I have full confidence in our receivers to make plays. Yannick has looked really good this season and last, and he's the type of guy that teams are going to be trying to poach him. I've been saying that this season. Teams are going to try to poach him this offseason, so it'll be a prime matchup between him and the cornerback that they have over there.
Night of the Boneyard on Thursday. What do you think of these new helmets, Maceo?
I love them. They're cool. I like the new decals with the dark purple. So that's pretty sick. I wish we would have had that. I don't tell anybody, but I have my black helmet at the house right now. I don't know if I'm supposed to tell that. I'm going to have to cut this out of the show, but I have my black helmet sitting at the house right now. But they're always fun. It's always fun to play in the black, man, and it's always just a good environment just in front of the fans at night in the all black. The guys feel good. They think they look good. Don't look as good as they think, but they feel good. So that's the most important thing as the game is about to kick off.
Look, man, you put the time in and did it the hard way. If you can't keep your black helmet, then I'll fight for you, man. I'll make sure that nobody comes and takes it from you. You deserve that thing, man. These Thursday night games, it's almost like, I don't know, as a fan base and as media, we're tired of them because we've had to deal with them a lot this year, and they're kind of a pain in the butt. But I do think it's important to remember from a national stage standpoint, like ECU is being front and center on ESPN. Right. If you count the BYU game, really 4 games in a row. So, This is a pretty big opportunity to try and close this little run out with a win, don't you think?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And you've noticed it, and I'm sure our leaders or the decision makers in the department kind of planned this out and wanted us to have as much exposure as possible, especially in today's NIL days. And so I think it would go a long way if we could just have an explosive offensive night. Our defense is going to come through. They've come through pretty much all season, and unless it was just times where they couldn't hold on anymore. But I would love to see an explosive offense because that's how everyone has fun, and that attracts anybody. No one. Even though you have a win, no one wants to see a 12-7 win or 14-16, 14-17 win. Guys want to see points be scored. So it'll be fun to show that offense and just kind of show the good old days of ECU where you're throwing it to Zay Jones and Justin Hardy 10 times a game, and the guys are having 300 yards, 400 yards of passing. And we've shown we're capable of that. So it would really be great to see that tonight. I think we're 17-point favorites, right? 17.5-point favorites?
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Obviously, the wise guys think we have that ability to tonight.
Pirates, Tulsa tonight, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. All right, a couple things outside of ECU, and then we'll get you out of here, Maceo. Penn State, just less than a month ago, was near the top of the country, college football playoff aspirations, and, I mean, what a fall from grace. Just obviously James Franklin fired. What do you make of that situation? It just kind of shows how quickly college sports these days, things in college sports can change.
Yeah, well, the first thing I thought was that with so much money going into NIL, and then obviously you're still playing an expensive staff, was that they still are willing to buy him out right now. It's $48 million basically going in the trash. So that was kind of a big sign that they didn't really want him anymore. But you kind of still understand it with the losses that they've had. In big moments, just the last since James Franklin's been there, they've been a really good team all year. But when they play at Ohio State or a good Michigan team or get into the playoffs, they don't do much. And then obviously you lose to Northwestern, UCLA, and this comes after losing probably one of the biggest games in recent memory, at least for them in their historic whiteout. against Oregon at home and losing that game with the roster that's basically returning your quarterback and your running backs and guys that have been there forever. So it makes sense. So this is the first kind of big one we've seen fired. You might see Kirk Cignetti there. I've heard a lot of that, which would be crazy. That back end with that funding in Penn State, that you can see that being potentially kind of a big expectation with him going there because he's got some juice behind him. He's moved up everywhere he's been.
No doubt. He's done a remarkable job. All right, usually I tease you about we only get you on after the Chiefs lose. They win this week. They beat the Lions. And I got to, at this point, the AFC West might be the best division of football between Denver, the Chargers, and the Chiefs, all at 4-2 or better. I guess the Chiefs are 3-3, but I expect them to rattle off some wins here shortly and get their record back to where they need to be. So, do you feel like the AFC West is in contention for the best division?
Well, it's the best division because the Super Bowl contender has always come out of there 5 of the last 6 years. A team that's played in the Super Bowl has always come out of the AFC West. Probably 6 out of the last 7 years, 5 out of the last 6 years.
I think you're right.
No, I'm kidding. Chargers still look pretty good. Denver looks pretty good too. Although they haven't looked as well this season. The QB isn't playing that good. Did they almost lose to the Jets this past weekend? Or are we not going to talk? They
did. They did. That was an embarrassing football game. But I'm gonna chalk it up to the whole London hangover.
Yeah, the London hangover. Yeah, but it's still some good football going. I mean, it seems like when you kind of you expect what's going to happen, it changes. I mean, who lost? The Falcons beat the Bills this past week, was kind of unexpected.
Yeah, and they beat them pretty handily.
You guys played a close game with the Jets. I mean, it's kind of fun to watch this year. You don't really know what to expect. So I think it'll be fun. But the Chiefs are still up there. They're still going to make the plays when it counts. So we're getting Rashee Rice back. So everybody look out.
We were visiting with Kevin Monroe Tuesday, and he said to Philip Pilkington, he was like, the Panthers, he called them average, which I think is the biggest compliment the Panthers have gotten since the Super Bowl. What do you think, Philip?
Yeah.
No, since 2017 when they were 11-5 and they were the 5 seed. But yeah, since then, average is the best compliment we got. That's why I was so happy when he said it.
The Panthers are average. Well, Maceo O'Donnell, man, we appreciate the time. We'll get you out of here. So you're back on the sidelines again tomorrow night, or Thursday night, excuse me, correct?
Yes, sir. I will be there. I'll be at the game, the sidelines in my all black.
All right, Maceo, if you're looking for an autograph, just find Maceo on the sideline. He will give it to you for sure. We appreciate it, Maceo. Always great to catch up with you, man, and we appreciate the time as always.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. That's Maceo O'Donnell, ECU football sideline reporter, former Pirate football player, giving his insight on this Thursday. We'll get a break in. We'll come back. Bobby Harward will join us. We'll make our picks on the other side.
Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human. About creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you farm to fork beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to fork beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown. At National Finance, we're all about hometown support, just like ECU football. National Finance helps us win on and off the field. They've got your back when you need it most. Fast, easy personal loans for life's big plays. And just like us, they're committed to Eastern North Carolina. National Finance, proud supporters of ECU athletics. Visit nfcmoney.com for loans as fast as today.
Hoist the sail!
Climb aboard as we set sail and hoist the colors.
Ahoy, me hearties!
Back to Steve and Igo on 94.3 The Game.
Hoist the colors on a game day edition, Tulsa, East Carolina. We'll make some game picks here in a second. Some breaking news from the American. Charlotte has parted ways with their AD, Mike Hill. They gave him an extension not too long ago. So starting over in Charlotte, obviously they've struggled in football, basketball over the last calendar year. And we got some questions as well in the comments section. Thick Poppy wants to know, is number 10 Damian Wilson back for the game tonight? Yeah, he was out last week. I'm hearing a good chance he returns tonight, although nothing official at this point. But it'd be good to get him back at inside linebacker. All right, we've got Bobby Harward. We've got Philip Pilkington. Bobby is back in his home studio. Bobby, how you doing, man?
Doing well. Yeah, shocking news out of Charlotte, but my sister's a 49er, and what's odd to me with that whole situation is I know they wanted to, they jumped to FBS and joined the American Conference, but to me that's just such a massive jump from a football standpoint, and football is the money driver in the athletic department. But at the same time, when you hire Biff Poggi, what can you expect?
Yeah, they gave him a 4-year extension in September of 2024. So, kind of similar to when ECU extended Jeff Confer and then fired him shortly after during that time. So, brings back some memories there. All right, Tulsa-ECU. I keep wanting to say Tulane. Tulsa-Tulane back-to-back creates some issues.
It's okay. Temple's next.
Yeah, and then next year we get 3 Owls inside Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium from 3 separate teams. We've talked about it plenty. Bobby, you did the write-up as always. Great job breaking it down. So before we make our picks, what's your take on Tulsa coming to town?
Yeah, it's a good question because going into leading up to this game, before I did the breakdown, I was honestly really concerned about this matchup. Just knowing the tempo that Tulsa wants to play. And just some of the things they want to do schematically, offensively, and then from a distance, you see that win over Oklahoma State. Granted, a down Cowboy team, but still a P4 win on the road nonetheless. And so I was a little concerned, but after watching the tape and breaking them down, I'm a little less concerned. I think they're very vanilla on defense, which is okay by me. Caden Hauser's going to have to take what's given to him, and it should allow JDB to scheme up, what they want to do. When I watched the Memphis game, they were essentially solely too high for majority of the game. I'd say 80-85% of the game. And then offensively, y'all have hit on it this week. They can't protect. They can get the run game going, but from a pass game standpoint, they really have no drop back game because they cannot protect. So everything is 7-man protection, slide protection, a lot of boots, a lot of rollouts, trying to get the quarterback out of the pocket. So I think the matchup is favorable, but again, it's going to come down to, how do we come out form? Do we start fast or slow again? Can the offense finally sustain for 4 quarters? And then, with the desire to throw the ball from the Tulsa end, how do we hold up in the passing game? That got exposed last week on tape kind of for the first time this season. So our adjustments made this week to kind of switch things up there.
All right, a quick question here. And Johnny Robertson asks, how short do we think that Baylor Hayes' leash will be if Tulsa's offense struggles? Kirk Francis threw for 297, 2 touchdowns in 2023 in their win in Greenville. Their coach, Trey Lamb, came out and said Baylor Hayes is their starting quarterback for the rest of the season. So I'd be surprised if they go back to Francis after the way he struggled. I think a lot of that has to do with the way the O-line struggles to protect, and Hayes has a little more mobility. All right, let's get into our picks so we have enough time here to get through all of them because we got 7 college games. And ECU, 16.5-point favorite as of last night. Now, the line has fluctuated between 17.5, 16.5. We'll roll with 16.5 because that's what I had down when I wrote this. I've got ECU winning 34-20. I think I'll take the points. It's just a lot of points. I definitely see a scenario where Tulsa does not cover if ECU's offense is humming because I just don't see Tulsa scoring a lot. But I'm going to go with ECU 34, Tulsa 20. Bobby.
I'm torn on this. I think this is a good line. I've been terrible with my ECU picks recently, but I'll say this. I did the numbers at the beginning part of the show here as I was listening to y'all. Do y'all know what we're averaging points per game against FBS opponents?
I'm going to guess mid-high 20s.
No, because we're only averaging like 20-some-odd points a game, I think. We had 56 against, what's their names?
Campbell.
So it's like low 20s.
Yeah, 23. 23 points per game against FBS opponents, which is not great.
Field goal out, it's even lower.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to go the under. I was thinking over in my head, but I'm going to go the under. I don't think Tulsa's going to score a ton. I don't think they're very good offensively, but until ECU shows otherwise, I don't know how much they're going to score. So give me the under. Tulsa covers.
Yeah, well.
You're undefeated on ECU picks, right?
Pressure's on. Not on me, it's on the Pirates because I'm picking them to cover, baby. I think they start hot.
I do think if ECU plays this potential offensively, this could be a 38-14 type game, but it just depends on that. All right, LSU is a road dog at Vanderbilt. Did we ever think this would happen? Did we ever think Vanderbilt football would be favored over LSU? Vandy 2.5, and they're playing in Nashville. Look, LSU, it's like Brian Kelly's going to be fired, but they're still 5-1. That said, their offensive line is not good. Musnier's still beat up. I think Vandy's just a better football team. As crazy as it is to say, give me Vandy at home to cover the 2.5. Bobby.
Before I switch to my Vandy pick, I'm going with my gut. Phillips, switch me to the Pirates. Even though I just spewed out all those stats, give me the Pirates. They're going to cover. And I'm riding Phillips' coattail to victory here. In terms of the Vandy game, I don't think LSU can score to keep up. Granted, LSU's defense is good. I'm a believer in Diego Pavia. I think they're going to get it done and win by a touchdown.
Yeah, I haven't been high on Nussmeier really even coming into the season. He's underperformed. Like you said, he is banged up. That's part of it.
Their O-line's bad, too.
Their O-line's bad.
It's
and
crazy.
Like Bobby said, Vandy's going to find a way to score some points one way or another. They'll do it. They've got a versatile offense. I cannot believe I did. I am going to, if I lose this pick, I might think about this one on my deathbed that I actually one time picked Vanderbilt to not only beat but cover as favorites against LSU and got it wrong. But I'm going with the Commodores.
It's a clean sweep. Wow. We're all going Vandy over LSU. Man, how times have changed. Duke has 2 losses, but they are the favorite, 1.5 points, hosting unbeaten Georgia Tech. And I am rolling with the Blue Devils here. Look, I think Duke has gotten better. Georgia Tech should have lost to Wake Forest. They got away with one there. I know they're a really good football team. I think this is a game Duke gets done at home. Bobby.
If Georgia Tech was favored, I would actually think Duke would win this football game. But because they can play the underdog card and disrespect card all week, I think the Brent Key makes a point. Yellow Jackets get it done in Durham.
Duke, if you want me to pick you, well, put 4 quarters together. Of course, I am picking ECU, and they haven't put 4 quarters together. I ain't going to be lucky enough for both these teams to put 4 quarters together and cover, so give me Georgia Tech. I'll probably end up being wrong on both. It's probably what's going to end up happening.
Terry Long with the nugget on ECU. He says in teams we are favored against, we are outscoring them 122-9.
We're also 47 points better than the spread against this year, which is like 14th in the country against the spread.
Yeah. Well,
number 1's Indiana, by the way.
Would have been nice to cover the Tulane game, but, their coach had to throw the ball at the end.
Yeah.
I'm going to interject here. You mentioned Vanderbilt, and we all jumping on the Vanderbilt line. The last time I heard this morning, Vanderbilt and UVA, who is also ranked, even though we're not picking them, were ranked in the same year together, was 1947.
In the same year? Not even in the same week?
Correct. Or, no, excuse me, in the same week.
Okay.
The last time they were ranked in the AP Top 25 together was 1947.
Ole Miss is at Georgia. Georgia's a 7.5-point favorite. I'm struggling with this one. This is a great line. Ole Miss beat Georgia last year, I believe, and I just don't know how good Georgia is. But Ole Miss almost lost to Washington State last week. That had to be just a pure look-ahead spot. 7.5. Give me the Dogs at home. I got to see. I feel like we haven't seen Georgia's best game, and I think Ole Miss is due for a letdown. Bobby.
Ole Miss had their letdown last week. I think it was a look-ahead game. I don't know if they win, but they're not going to lose by more than a touchdown to Georgia. Give me the Rebels.
Yeah, I agree with you, Bobby, here. And one thing I do want to scold you for, Bobby, when you do the first time since 1947, you're supposed to say Harry Truman was the president and give us the gas prices and what the number 1 song was, biggest movie at the box office. Come on, Bobby. What are we doing out here? Just 1947,
you're right.
That's all I get?
You're right. I just heard Steven talk about Vanderbilt, and I was like, you know what? That just popped in. When I heard it, they did mention Truman, so I didn't do it justice. I apologize.
In 1947, the average price of a gallon of gas was 23 cents. There you go.
Yeah, great life.
Tennessee at Alabama. I think in 1947 they were playing on the 3rd week in October.
Yeah, I think they were.
Alabama is an 8.5-point favorite, 3rd Saturday in October. 8.5. Another SEC line that is tough, but give me the Tide, man. I don't like going for more than a touchdown spread, but I just feel like these home teams here, Georgia, Alabama, are gonna put it on these away teams. Give me Bama, 8.5. They're playing well. Bob.
Give me the Rocky Top. I don't know necessarily that Rocky Top wins, but I don't think they lose by more than 8.5. I think Alabama has some, even though Ty Simpson's look great, still not putting a ton of points on the board. The Tennessee offense can move it, even though they've been slowed down a little bit recently here. But give me the Rocky Top to cover.
I think Bama's slowly but surely getting it figured out. I think they really get it figured out on Saturday. They'll be lighting up cigars midway through the 4th quarter. I think they win by 2 scores at least.
Last few games in Tuscaloosa, 34-20 Bama, 52-24 Bama, 35-13 Bama, 45-7 Bama, 19-14 was the last time in 2015. It was a 1-score game, but much different Bama team and much
Tennessee
different.
did win there a couple years ago, though, right?
Knoxville. They've won the last 2 in Knoxville.
Oh, okay. I thought they won one in Knoxville, then one in
what I'm seeing Knoxville.
Okay.
They have not won in Tuscaloosa since, goodness gracious,
Peyton Manning.
I'll have to go back a long time. It's been a long time. All right. USC is at Notre Dame. Notre Dame quietly playing itself back into college football playoff contention just because. Freaking joke. But 9.5. They are favored by 9.5 points here. And I'm going to continue with this trend, to be honest. I'm going to go with the home team, more than a touchdown favorite. One of these games is going to be closer than the spread, but like USC got punked by Illinois. I just don't trust them on the road in these types of games. At home, different story, but not on the road. Bobby.
You know, the Notre Dame hate, I'm no longer going to tolerate it. It is not a joke. They have lost 2 games by a combined 4 points to 2 top 4 teams in the country. This is not a joke. CJ Carr is legit. However, I don't think this is Notre Dame's year to go all the way. I think that's next year when this young defense gets more experience. But give me all that said, Notre Dame wins the football game. The Trojans cover.
Wow.
I knew you had to pick both Lincoln Riley and Notre Dame in the end.
100%.
I go because I was looking up my false information I gave out. They've actually won in Tuscaloosa since Peyton Manning. They did it in 2003.
Okay.
I was looking that up. Who did you pick?
I got Notre Dame, minus 9.5.
Yeah, I do too. So Bobby, the only one going against the Irish.
Even though he loves them. All right, Utah at BYU, the Holy War. Man, I'm excited for this game, dude. I am kind of shocked at the line, but I also get it. Utah is a 3.5-point favorite going to Provo. BYU just keeps finding ways to win. It has not been pretty. This line tells me to take Utah, honestly, but I just have a feeling about this BYU team. I think they're going to find a way to win. Bachmeier makes plays. I watched the whole Arizona game last week. They're just tough, man, and I just don't know if they lose at home in the spot, but Utah is certainly capable. Give me BYU. I'm rolling with the Cougars. Bob.
I'm with you. I mean, the last 2 weeks, Utah's offense finally has kicked in gear, scoring 48 points and 42 points. But I think they're riding high off of their top 25 win last week and go into Provo and fall flat. So give me the Cougars to get it done.
Yeah, I'm going to build off that. Well, we're short on time, so I'm not. But yeah, I just think BYU might be a slightly better team right now. But this is a big one in the Big 12 standings. Utah does already have that loss to Texas Tech at home. If they fall here, they're probably out of the college football playoff conversation. Big game for the Utes. I'm going with the Cougars.
Massive weekend in college football, and great weekend to have a Thursday night game. I'll say that. So that's the one positive. And we may be getting together at Bobby's house to watch some. So stay tuned for that. All right, we got to get a break in so we make NFL picks on the other side. This is Hoist the Colors on a game day Thursday.
It's time to soak up the savings at Greenville Toyota. Summer is here with hot deals on a great selection of new Toyotas, like a Corolla, $189 a month, or Tacoma, $279 a month. Soak up the savings at Greenville Toyota.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt & Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt & Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Daughtridge Gas and Oil has been your dependable propane supplier for 95 years. Their trained technicians can service and properly install all your propane and natural gas appliances. Plus, Daughtridge Gas and Oil is your backyard expert with fire pits, grills, smokers, and more, including quality outdoor furniture at their Greenville Patio and Hearth Shop at 1901 Charles Boulevard. Go by and see the knowledgeable staff at Daughtridge Gas and Oil for propane delivery or call 756-1345.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville, we've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked-to-order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
The sun is out, and so are the deals at Greenville Toyota. Soak up the savings on a hot selection of new Toyotas, like a Camry, $229 a month, or RAV4, $289 a month. Soak up the savings at Greenville Toyota.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's Cut in Color and let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
Is loyal and bold. He may also have a touch of scurvy. Back to Hoist the Colors on 94.3 The Game.
Welcome back in. Hoist the Colors, final segment here. We got about 5 minutes left to make our NFL picks, so we'll go ahead and dive in. Philip Pilkington producing. Bobby Harward joining us. He'll be back again tomorrow for our recap show live at 12 noon. ECU Tulsa. All right, NFL. Panthers are a 1.5-point favorite at the Jets. This open Jets favored. It is flipped in the Panthers' direction. We find out for sure if the Panthers are an average team. If they win this game, they are officially an average team. If they lose, they're still below average. And they're going to be below average because the Jets are going to win and the Panthers are going to have a letdown on the road. Bobby, who you got?
Yeah, give me the Jets. I just have a hard time seeing the Panthers win 3 in a row right now.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't do it. I keep picking against the Panthers to keep winning. Probably shouldn't change up the mojo, but Jets coming back from a game they probably should have won in London. I think they're a little jet lagged. Give me the Panthers.
The Giants are at the Broncos. The Broncos, are they jet lagged enough for Phillip to take the Giants? Denver's a 7-point favorite. I think this is a situation where they are jet lagged, but being at home is a huge advantage. They played 2 games on the road. They've been away for a long time. I think they're going to be energized. Giants coming off a big win over the Eagles. Let down Jackson Dart and Mile High. Give me Denver to cover the 7 points. Bobby.
I'm going to go the Bash Brothers here to cover. I think the Broncos escape with the win, but give me the G-Men to cover.
I like Jackson Dart. I think he's a good quarterback. I don't think you're allowed to throw the ball from your ass, and that's where he's going to be because you're going to get a lot of sacks. Give me the Broncos.
The Broncos are on pace to shatter the NFL all-time sack record, which is kind of crazy. But we'll see if they can maintain that pace. Long season. Colts at Chargers. This is a sneaky good game. Chargers are a 1.5-point favorite. Both teams off to a good start. And, look, the Chargers don't really have a home field advantage, but even as beat up as they are, I'll take their roster over the Colts, and I'll take Justin Herbert over Daniel Jones. So give me L.A. minus 1.5 at home. Bobby.
Normally I'd agree with you, but the Chargers are struggling to protect Justin Herbert. Give me the Colts.
Yeah, no Marion Hampton either. However, I think it's kind of a fishy line. Only 1.5-point favorites at home. I still think they're the better roster. Give me the Chargers.
Commanders coming off just a horrific Monday night loss. No business losing that game. But they're favored going to Dallas. And I'm rolling with the Commanders here. I don't know. I feel a bounce back here. I think they're going to take that loss personal. And to be honest, Dallas, I think I'm just about completely out on the Cowboys. Bobby.
Yeah, it's going to be a shootout. I believe the over-under is set at 54.5, which is a lot for an NFL game. But Jaden's going to go off. I think he's pretty frustrated with how Monday night ended. Plus, must win for the Commanders. Your next 3 are the Chiefs on the road, the Seahawks, and the Lions. So got to get this win here to give yourself a shot.
Does Jaden go off? Maybe. Does he have to? Absolutely not, because they can't defend the run. Bill. All day. Left hand up.
Just hold on to the football, please.
Yeah.
Luckily, it won't be raining there. Buccaneers at Lions. Lions, 5.5-point favorites. It's a big line. No pun intended. Buccaneers, though, are due for a letdown. I'm torn on this one, man.
5.5's a lot.
Yeah. I'm going to go Bucs to cover just because I feel like there's a good chance this is a one-score game. And, Phillips' rule of principle, you get 5.5, you take that.
Fair enough.
Bobby.
I'm going the Bucs as well. Another stupid doubleheader on Monday night, but still, give me the Bucs.
45-38. Goff to St. Brown to win it by 7. Give me Detroit.
this has all the makings of an electric game. Bobby, you going to be in Dowdy Ficklen tonight, or you watching this from TV?
No, I'll be there. I will be there in person. Excited to see the new helmets look from the seats.
So Bobby will be there in person. Philip, you're going to be in the press box, correct?
Yeah, I'll be in the radio booth. Yeah,
that's right. So
I finessed it.
Again, tune in to our pregame show 4 to 6:30. But man, it should be a fun weekend of football, and hopefully it starts. I'm really tempted, guys, to be honest, to switch my pick to ECU minus 16.5, but I'm going to stick with Tulsa.
If Bobby's okay with it, I'm okay with it. When we do our final score prediction on the pregame show, if you predict the Pirates to win by more than 17, I'll change it for you. If Bobby's okay with it,
I think I'm going to.
I'll allow it,
but we'll see. Do we have a standings update, by the way, before we get out of here?
I'm up a game on Bobby and 2 games on you.
Okay.
So, I don't have the exact. I already closed my laptop. Put it away.
We are good Samaritans because we took the loss for the Oklahoma game when Philip forgot to change it. I should say I'm a good Samaritan. I can't speak for Bobby, but I did tell him that me and your.
I did ask. I was like, okay, there's something wrong. I think I calculated something incorrectly, and I asked him about it.
Because it was contingent upon John Mateer playing. He played, and Oklahoma was terrible, so we both got the L there. But close race. And it's not a very good race, but at least it's close. All right, Bobby, appreciate you, man. We'll see you tonight in Dowdy Ficklen.
Yeah, absolutely, and hope your M's get back on track tonight with a Game 4 win.
Let's hope so. They need it. Big one tonight in T-Mobile Park. Philip, we'll see you shortly on the pregame show.
Let's do it. Maybe 3 hours from now.
4 o'clock, come find us, Town Bake Tower. We'll be there till 6:30, an hour before kick. We'll see you then. This has been Hoist the Colors.
This has been Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo. Get a recap of this show at 943thegame.com and on your IBX Media app, on Twitter, Facebook, or anywhere you get your podcasts. Tune in weekdays at noon to get your ECU sports fix with Stephen Igo and Hoist the Colors on 94.3 The Game.
Hoist the Colors!